My name is Max Stein, and I love video games.
I'm the Mega Buck. I really love video games.
My name is Raph, and I also love video games.
And welcome to the Game Treasure Podcast, where we discuss treasure video games of yesterday, today, and even tomorrow. Warning, the Game Treasure Podcast is not for children, or anyone with a brain for that matter. Today we have, I say this usually every week because it's just a good thing to say, but truly this time we do have a show I am excited for you to hear. A good show, dare I say. We are doing a game pairing, which we have not done in quite some time, where we take two video games that are usually similar in genre and then compare and contrast said video games. And today we are pitting two absolute titans of the beat-em-up genre. We got this idea. I've been playing an excellent beat-em-up that I'm going to talk about later, and Buck was like, you know what we should do? We're going to pit Final Fight versus Streets of Rage in a head-to-head battle. We're going to compare and contrast the gameplay of these games, maybe the music, a little bit of everything. And we are going to jump right in because, honestly, this whole entire episode is brought to you by RetroGameTreasure.com because that's how I got my SNES copies of Final Fight 2 and 3.
Boy, did they look good.
And honestly, we did. We hooked them up to the CRT with Raph's Retron, right? That's the name of that device?
Yep, the Hypergun Retron.
And even though my CRT is very, very sun-bleached, it still was just like, man, this is so much better than the pixel remasters of all these things, because that's how we played that first Final Fight.
Okay.
Smooth.
But yes, I digress. Let's jump right into it, gentlemen. Final Fight versus Streets of Rage. This is doubly fun because this is also kind of a microcosm of the Nintendo versus Sega war of the 90s. This is a little bit because obviously Final Fight is arcade, but SNES only. Streets of Rage, straight up Genesis only.
Yeah.
Never an arcade port. And I must say, in this instance, in my opinion, not to spoil it, Sega do what Nintendo don't. Where to begin? Boy, Buck has got a bunch of information on this, but we must begin. I want to personally go in chronological order in regards to covering the games.
Yes.
So
I was really
because I think that's
this.
relevant in
Yeah.
regards to when we're pitting them against one another, so to speak, or whatever. Final Fight comes first.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So Final Fight was originally an arcade game, 2 players. It comes out in Japan in November of 1989, and then in North America shortly thereafter, January of 1990.
Smashes all the arcade records in Japan, by the way.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Smashes them.
It ends up becoming the third best. Hold on, I have it right here. It's a little bit of jump up ahead because I want to talk about Double Dragon really quick.
Oh, yeah.
So Raph, you had mentioned this when we were playing it, but
Right,
yes, Final Fight originally started as a sequel. It was proposed to be a sequel to Street Fighter.
yeah.
Correct.
That was going to be called Street Fighter 87.
89.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Street Fighter came out in 1987.
Right.
Whoopsie.
No, but you're right, though.
So Double Dragon, though, when it comes out in the same year as Street Fighter, 1987, it beats ass. It
Yeah.
becomes the highest grossing arcade game in 1988 and 1989. So basically, I wrote like a little, like, for layman's timeline here, Double Dragon comes out, and then it beats ass for an entire year, and then about halfway through that year, it's still beating ass. So Capcom is like, we have to do a beat 'em up. We simply must. Like
We have to do whatever you're going to call this genre,
Yeah,
which ended up
right.
being beat 'em ups.
right. And then Final Fight is born. Buck, did you ever? I never played Final Fights in the arcade as a child. Do you have fond memories of playing Final Fight?
You know the tiny ass little town that we lived in growing up that I still live in?
Yes.
The pizzeria right around the corner had 2 arcade machines, and one of them was Final Fight.
Oh, nice.
Kick ass. What do you think about Final Fight? How does it stack up? My notes, one of my key notes for this game is just, it's certainly, if they were trying to do better than Double Dragon, I think they did that.
Oh,
So,
100%.
Double
Yeah.
Dragon really successful arcade machine, did exactly what Final Fight did. It became NES ports after that, right? Only the first one was the arcade machine. So when Final Fight came out just a couple years later, and it just blew it out, it didn't just beat it. It was just like, look at the size of the sprites. Listen to this music. This controls so much better. These characters are so much cooler than Bimmy and Jimmy. Like, everything about it was just so great.
It ends up becoming, like Buck said, the highest grossing arcade game of 1990. It comes to America January of 1990, and then it just doesn't stop. But we played the arcade port, Raph and I did, thanks to the Capcom arcade collection thing. You can download that for free and then pay like $1.99 for Final Fight.
They actually did not do a physical version of that in the US. They did in Japan. It's called the Capcom Belt Collection. I own a copy for the Switch. It's an import copy.
Oh, nice.
It's funny because we actually beat the Final Fight, like the first one, but the only way we were able to do it was just by feeding it so many quarters.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So especially to get to like Abigail and some of those bosses. Yeah.
That's a great starting point as far as gameplay goes. Yes, it is much better than Double Dragon, but it's certainly... I should have researched other beat 'em ups. I know this is very early in the genre, but it seems like it solidified the staple of being a quarter munching monster by being just demonstrably hard.
That was why they did so well, because other than the basic gameplay loop of earlier games and then shmups, which were extremely popular in Japan, this was basically a new genre that still did the same thing. Quarters.
I was just so blown away by the number of sprites that were on screen at the same time. I didn't expect that going into it because I'd never seen that in a beat 'em up before.
Yeah. And like Buck said, one of the big draws, if you're not so old listening to this, just like, look at how big the sprites are.
Right, yeah.
He's right. They take up maybe like 65 to 70% of the screen height-wise.
Yeah.
Raph, what did you think about our time with Final Fight?
Well, it's funny because we talked about this, and I preferred the arcade version. The Super NES version was a lot more
we'll get to the Super NES. But
okay, just strictly on the arcade.
That's
port.
not a fair comparison.
If you're a person
strictly on the arcade
in 1989 or 1990 in America.
Oh, the shit would have blown my mind.
An arcade.
She would have blown my mind. No.
Oh,
Dude, it blew my mind when we played it. I was so surprised at how smooth the character animations were. Like you said, the size of the sprites, everything looked a lot better than I expected it was going to for a game that came out in 1989. It's fantastic.
I guess if you don't know anything about Final Fight, I should mention it's published and developed by Capcom.
Yeah,
it was.
It's about a girl getting kidnapped, and so her dad, who is the mayor of this town, and her boyfriend, who is a master martial artist,
of course,
and a guy who is a
guy's the master martial artist. Cody is just like a street guy.
Yeah, if you like Wikipedia, but he's a master fighter.
Yeah, he's a master baiter.
A guy named Cody, and then a guy named Guy, who is just a ninja, go to save her.
But it was childhood friends with them.
The Gear Gang?
Capcom's main dev team did Final Fight.
You can definitely, I'll say this, you can feel, because Street Fighter 2 comes out a couple years later, like 2 years later. Well, no, I think it's like 1 year later, and you can feel that, like, because Street Fighter 1, I don't mean to, it sucks.
Oh no, yeah,
Street Fighter, you know what I mean?
You can say it. Everybody knows it. It was not good.
The sprites in Final Fight, you can look at them and go, oh, these become the sprites for Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. Not to be confused with 1990s NES game Street Fighter 2010: The Final Fight.
No,
all of these were things that, again, remember when I talked about when I was a kid and some of this stuff isn't confusing anymore, but back then you were like, what? That's a game that we got the same year that we got Final Fight from Capcom.
So, Buck, do you have anything else you want to say about the arcade version of Final Fight?
No, I'm ready to.
So, shortly thereafter, Final Fight gets an SNES port of itself. It's in December of 1990 in Japan and November of 91 in North America. So almost a year later in America. It spends a year in Japan before coming over. And this will be important in a moment. Mm-hmm. But for now, I'm just going to say it comes out in November of 1991. And
let's not forget that the Super Nintendo did not come out until August of 1991. So this was this close to a launch title.
Oh, wow.
Very interesting. So here we go. Here's a fun little story. I go and get Final Fight the SNES from RetroGameTreasure.com, and I bring it home, and lo and behold, it obviously is already in working condition. And me and Raph were like, awesome, let's plug our controllers in and play.
Oh, yeah.
It's one player.
What the fuck, right?
What? And we were like, oh, shit. Fuck. Well, good thing we played the arcade port, too, so we could play together.
Yeah.
So you can only play one at a time, and Guy is not in it. It's only Hagar and Cody. So the ninja is not in the game.
What's the deal with that? Like, why?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I brought up before. I brought up before, and it's funny you mentioned that because I didn't think that was a thing on Final Fight. I'm pretty sure that Anyway, so the way that they ported these games, right? You only had X amount of space on the cartridges, on the ROM cartridges, the physical chips that went inside of these boards, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you look at games like Mortal Kombat, part of the reason why the sprites get shrunk down so much is because then they take up less space, and they lower the resolution of the backgrounds and all those kind of things. They replace cutscenes with like solid images like Killer Instinct, which got really pared down for the Super Nintendo. But in the case of like Final Fight, I think what really happened, because there's a lot of stories of what it, but I think what really happened was they went, okay, the game is too big for the console. Okay, shrink the characters down a little bit. Okay, we can only shrink them down so much before you lose all this detail in the sprite, and we'd have to redraw them. See Mighty Final Fight for the NES. And what I think happened was, first thing, so we lost a level. Rolento's level, the industrial level, is gone from the SNES version, as is the boss Rolento, the guy that you see also in Street Fighter Alpha series with the
like
sticks,
stick
and the grenades and stuff.
And shit. Yeah.
Right. So they took that whole level out, and they were like, great. So we took a whole level, and actually they took out a bonus stage too, one of the bonus stages, I think the barrel one or something, they left in the car.
So Street Fighter 2, again,
yes,
by the way.
Street Fighter 2, yes. But then they, I think they got to the end, they went, we still haven't gotten rid of enough. There's still a bunch of the animations, and they're like, so if they looked at it from the perspective of let's take out some enemies, then you have to reprogram the game because you had them in all these different places. Let's take out another level. Gosh, can we really take out 2 levels and get away with it? And they said, no, let's just take out one of the characters. Okay, which one? Well, let's take out the one that's kind of wedged in there anyway. You know, the ninja that's just a childhood friend of the main girl that got kidnapped, not her dad or her boyfriend. So.
Who looks like a guy in California that would ask to sleep on your couch a lot, by the way. It's fucked up, dude.
So the really fun side script to the SNES side of Final Fight 1, before we get into all the other Final Fights and everything else, is we actually did get a Final Fight for the SNES with Guy in it, in the form of a Blockbuster Video exclusive game called, apropos, Final Fight Guy. Where
such a cool fun fact.
They re-added, ROM chips had come a little further in that extra year or two, so they added some of the content back in that was gone.
Okay.
But they just replaced Cody with Guy.
So still only 2.
You're still a missing character. No fucking way. Wow.
But I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Final Fight Guy might be a 2-player though. It also Final Fight Guy is also still 1 player. It was a separate. It was a whole mess, that this whole thing.
Yeah, it's a strange. Did you own Final Fight when we were young?
Absolutely.
So. Oh, we did.
Gosh,
okay.
I mean, remember, I got a Super Nintendo, I believe, that Christmas or short. Well, my birthday's in August, so I probably asked for one for my birthday, if I'm not mistaken. So it would have been in that time period there, or would have been for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And Final Fight would have been out by then. So absolutely, we had Final Fight. Absolutely loved that game.
Amazing. Well, one day we'll do Raph said we should do a beat 'em up genre study, and we will. I'm not going to explain. I just realized while we were talking about that. We didn't explain what beat 'em ups are, but
oh, come on.
Go Google it. Anyhow,
go Google it.
Pretty straightforward.
Remember how earlier when I said it's really interesting and relevant that Final Fight spends a year in Japan before coming out in North America? Yeah. And that is because, in chronological order, we next get for the Sega Genesis in 1991 in August in Japan and September of 91 in North America. So 2 months before Final Fight for the SNES comes out.
Yeah, they were ready.
Streets of Rage is coming out for the Sega Genesis already.
I'd love to see the development timeline there, actually. That's one thing I didn't look up.
So, long story short, everything about Streets of Rage is so much better than Final Fight, in my opinion. The game starts with like a cool scrolling text thing. The music on the Sega Genesis, really real good. But before I get into like the gameplay, do you have any fun facts for us about Streets of Rage, Buck?
I have some personal fun facts and some fun Streets of Rage facts. Streets of Rage is actually called in Japan.
Bare Knuckle?
Shit.
Bare Knuckle.
Yes.
Which is the name of Streets of Rage 1 in Japan.
I think one of the characters says that or something.
Something like that, yes. Your Megabuck fun fact is my middle school had a computer club, which of course I was in because I'm a fucking nerd.
Fuck yeah.
And they had raised funds and they bought a Sega CD version 1, which includes a compilation disc that has columns and a few other games, including the first Streets of Rage. So I played the first Streets of Rage on a Sega CD, which was part of the reason that I went, I have to get one of these freaking Sega CDs, and got to play Streets of Rage for the first time.
Sick.
So,
go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, visually, I like the look of the Sega Genesis. It makes, like... Obviously, you're on the streets, and they do a lot of this cool neon lighting where everything just looks like the casino level of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or whatever, Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Right.
So I like the visual style of Streets of Rage more. I also think it has a more varied like series of levels than Final Fight, where you're just like in a series of city settings.
Yeah.
And they get more outrageous in the second one.
Yeah, right.
Music-wise, maybe we should save that for last, but...
I'd like to compare and contrast when we get to that.
I have the music for the second Streets of Rage. Really,
it is a masterpiece.
So combat-wise, all right, this is really just like something we played both these games this week, so I feel like we can attest to this very freshly. So you just have a little more variety in moves than in Final Fight.
Yeah, sure.
In Streets of Rage, first of all, you get 3 characters. Yes. And it's 2-player.
Oh my gosh!
So Jesus Christ, you're already a leg up there. And then you have everything that you have in Final Fight. So jumping, attacking, jumping in the air, and then pressing down to do an attack that basically stuns somebody. Throwing. But also you have a special move.
Yeah,
and
where
not
you can
just
have
like
the
in
cops
Final.
Just shoot a rocket launcher.
Yes,
I remember that.
Yes,
it's the only one in either of these series that has a board wiping special move.
With a full cutscene too.
Absolutely, it like pans
incredible.
back.
Yeah,
I'll never forget it. It pans back to a cop car.
Yeah.
Dude pops out the passenger side, big old rocket launcher. Absolutely.
Me and Raph were cool. Like when we first did it, we're gamers.
Yeah,
so when we jump into games, we're testing the buttons.
Yeah.
And neither of us linked that that's what was doing that. And so we were just like walking and then we're like, whoa, what the fuck? What was that? Did I do that? Did you do that?
Yeah, I thought it was a cutscene that we were getting because we were walking into the level.
But yes, so it's got those special moves. And then, like I said, it's got everything the Final Fight has, including like a move that takes some of your health, but it does like a big attack all around you.
Oh, the first one had that, right.
But I also wanted to mention that this game has a backwards attack. You can press jump and attack at the same time to attack backwards.
Yeah, they kind of tried that in Double Dragon 2. Your kick actually goes behind you. Your punch is in front and your kick is behind.
Yeah.
Which was
I like
super
it.
annoying.
I love it.
It's better in Streets of Rage than it was in Double Dragon.
Well,
2.
yeah, definitely. I'm sure.
Yes, definitely.
I was gonna say, like, that's one of the things that I noticed about Streets of Rage in general is that the combat looks smoother too. Like the fighting, like you can like hit people behind you, then hit the guys in front of you, and it just makes for a more dynamic sort of gameplay. It's cool.
Well, I wrote in my notes that you can't run in either of these games.
That was not a thing yet. They hadn't figured that out. And we'll get to Streets of Rage 2, but when Skate showed up,
you can't run in either of these games, and both of them have friendly fire.
Oh my god, yes.
So
Yeah.
There are often times when you have to like split the screen with your friend, either top and bottom or left and right.
Sure.
And you again, you can't run.
Strategery.
And so the ability to kick behind you technically gives you more range, you know what I mean? And so in a, like I just wrote, in a game where you move so fucking slow, it is really nice to be able to just like pow, not have to like turn around and rearrange yourself. You can just real quick attack behind you, and something that it's not in Final Fight. And I was just like, it's sometimes it's like you go to turn around, and the moment that you turn around, they move 2 pixels up or whatever, and you're like, if I could have just kicked him right then, I would have been able to get him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But the grabbing, the Final Fight has grabs in it as well, but it just suplexing people with Blaze with Blaze in this game just like never gets old. No. You just fucking do it over and over and over again. But I mean, we didn't even mention the story. The story is about your 3 ex-cops who are going to clean up the streets.
Going after Mr. X.
It's
the
so
leader of the drug cartel or something.
Noir, like the music has got that 80.
You feel like you're in a dance club the whole time you play.
The vibe is completely different from
It feels
Final
like Lethal
Fight.
Weapon.
Yes.
It feels like Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
You know
More
what?
of what they were going for, I think.
I'm pretty sure in the Wikipedia when I was doing research, they specifically said like they were trying to recreate like Heat and buddy cop movies and shit. Like
that's
that's what it felt like.
again, you can press a button to have the cops come in and blow up the streets for you. It's very fun.
You have to bribe them to do that. So
sorry, did you have anything else about Streets of Rage?
I do, actually.
Okay,
it has one thing that never happened again, I don't think, in any of these games that I think was super, super creative. And that is at the end of Streets of Rage 1, you confront Mr. X. He's the leader of the gang, the bad guy. I forget the name of him. It's Mad Gear Gang in Final Fight, but I forget the name of him in Streets of Rage.
Me too.
And when you go to fight him, he prompts you with dialogue when you fight him in 2-player mode. And he says, join my ranks and stop fighting me and don't do this. Whoa. And if one player chooses yes and the other player chooses no, you have to fight each other.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Cool.
That is awesome.
That kicks ass.
And when you defeat the other player, he prompts you again and he says, join me and don't stop fighting against my gang and join my gang. And if you say no again and you kick his ass, it shows a cutscene with you on his throne and you take over the gang at the end of the game.
Oh, you're the new Mr. X.
You're the new Mr. X.
Man, me and Raph could not beat it. We played
so hard.
on the Sega Genesis, on the Switch emulator, and it's just so fucking, it's tough. So anything else about Streets of Rage, Raph? How did you feel about your time with Streets of Rage? I think we kind of already mentioned it fights a little bit better than Final Fight. Sounds a little bit better than Final Fight, right?
Full confession on my part, this is actually the first time that I played, well, not the first time, because I had played it on the Switch before, but yes, when I got a Switch, that's the first time I actually played Streets of Rage 1 or 2. Cool. Man, I thought it was cool as hell, man. It looks sick. It looks gorgeous. Sounds gorgeous. The music, that intro music, holy shit, it's so fucking sexy.
Yeah.
Well,
I love it. I want to do a whole music segment.
I know.
Let's
I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it.
Let's go into the music segment of this episode, aka the part where we talk about Streets of Rage 2.
Yes.
Where's that timeline there then? How long was Final Fight 2?
It comes after Streets of Rage 2.
That doesn't surprise me, actually.
Streets of Rage 2 comes next.
So you have to remember, they were porting the first one from the arcade game, so they knew exactly what they had to do. And then after Streets of Rage came out, and after the first Final Fight sold, just as well as it did kick-ass in the arcades, they went, crap, we have to do a second one. But that meant making a new game.
Yeah. Which we will get to in a moment. But so Streets of Rage, this is interesting. I don't know. This is what the internet says. Comes out for the Genesis in North America first in December of 1992, then in Japan in 1993, shortly thereafter.
Okay.
Wow. What an incredible upgrade from Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
In like a lot of different ways. So once again, you got 3 characters, but now there's a wrestling type character named Max. And then there's a guy on rollerblades named Skate. And guess
First
what?
draft energy.
he can dash.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You can double tap forward, and he can run, and it's just the amount, just one character that can dash is the perfect amount of like. You want a little bit of variability in your gameplay. The guy Max, his grabs are bigger and stronger. He does the jumping suplex.
Oh yeah.
And you get much better like custom animations for all the moves.
Yes.
In this game, you get a double tap forward attack move added to everybody, which was like a move that like advanced. I think it's called like a blitz or something. But like they all will do a move that like lunges them forward in an attack, and then you also get access to a new press and hold attack where you press and hold your attack button for a little bit, and then when you let go, it'll do the move that's normally at the end of your 4-hit combo or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna lie, that's if is amazing. When we played it just the other day in 2026, and we were like, this game kicks ass, dude. It's so fucking good, man.
So Streets of Rage 2 may very well be the best of the bunch in all of these, but I mean, it is.
Yeah, I wrote that in my notes. I think when you play, I was gonna say this, but when if you play Streets of Rage 2 on its original hardware, on a CRT TV, you are getting not only the best experience here, I think you're getting the best beat 'em up experience
of the 90s
of all time, which I'll get into later. But yeah, man. And then, by the way, they got rid of the special where the cops come and blow the streets up. So now instead, everyone just has their own bespoke specials.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's 2 versions of them. You have a standing one, and then you can press forward and press your special button and do like a dashing special. Mm-hmm. So like that guy Max will do like a lariat, or if you press forward, he does like a forward crazy dash thing and then grabs people. It's just so much better than Final Fight, man. The music, the looks is incredible, but should we just the music? The music is insane in these games. Buck, you have a bunch of information on the composer. I forget this gentleman's name, but
well, he did pretty much all of the music throughout the Streets of Rage series. That's Yuzo Koshiro, who's just like a dance techno beat magician.
The game starts, and you are greeted to scrolling text against the backdrop of a cityscape at night, with all the lights and cars zooming by and beautiful CRT vision, and to this music right here.
It has the leader of the gang looking over the whole city.
Yes, with the hands.
And it's being menacing. It's telling you the story. And then the beat drops.
It's like 1 year after the fight to end the violence in the streets.
Oh my god.
It's up to these 3 ex-cops to return, defeat the menaces on the streets of rage. And you're just like, huh? This is... It's like... Ça, dis-moi.
It is exactly
so fucking 90s, dude.
It is big, yeah.
Enya.
This shit is good, man.
It is very, very 90s.
So fucking good.
In the most delicious possible way, honestly.
When they could make any of the consoles do that, this for me, the first Final Fight also, because the soundtrack in that I'm never going to write off. That's Yoko Shimomura, who I talked about, who did all kinds of, did the Kingdom Hearts stuff later on, but did amazing stuff. We did a whole musical
Street
episode
Fighter,
talking about it.
It's good, but
my point there was these soundtracks were the beginning of me going, video games have a really good, like, they're really starting to figure this out. Like, these aren't just bleeps and bloops. These aren't just one decent looping background. These are soundtracks like movies.
Watching this YouTuber named Noodle who did a special about pixel art and like about CRT TVs and specifically about the level, I think it's level 2 in Streets of Rage 2 where you go, it's called
the casino,
the bar.
Or the bar,
Yes.
yeah.
The bar.
The bar. Mm-hmm.
And there's this scene where like in the foreground there's a light and when you walk behind it, quote unquote, you on a CRT television, your character is bathed in glow. I mean, it is incredible looking, and all the while, this is the music that's playing in the bar, and you're kicking people's asses.
Funky as hell, man.
It's like, it's perfect. I wouldn't want to beat people's asses to anything else, dude. It's awesome.
A little
It's so fucking good.
tangent
it's so good.
there, but man, Sega is really, really good at using dithering to get a really cool sort of translucent effect in their games. They do it in Sonic. They do it in this. It's pretty gnarly. They're so good at it.
I didn't mention that Streets of Rage is made by Sega, like straight up published
It's
and
literally
developed
their
by
internal
Sega.
team. It's their
Yes.
AM7 team and the first one, and then the second one,
Okay.
Ancient, helped with it as
They
well.
put their
who
best
did
foot
some
forward
RPGs
to
and some other
do
stuff,
their
too.
best Double Dragon.
Yeah. Okay. Gnarly.
They really did.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I have to say other than that about Streets of Rage is just like more music, just like
Yeah.
just wait for the hook of this. The song's called Ready Funk. That shit is hard, dude. That is. That is some rockin' shit. I don't know musically what that is. It's like, it's like you have like call and response or whatever that like, which is like wall of sound, and then silence. Bump to bump to bump bump to bump to bump. It's brings goosebumps to my neck. It's crazy good still to this day.
Yeah, like
in
I said,
2026.
previous to these games and a handful of these and all the Street Fighter soundtracks and stuff, that's why I liked Mega Man so much when I was a little younger, because it was like the first series where I went, everyone has a theme song. Every one of these bosses has their level, has a theme song. And some of these are really good.
So yeah, Raph, I mean, Streets of Rage. We played it the other day. You had fun, yes?
Oh my god, dude, I love this game. I mean, my first Streets of Rage game, just a little ahead of myself here, Streets of Rage 4. But
Nice.
This game was so genre defining that a lot of the stuff that's in this carried all the way up until that game now. Even the
Yes.
modern Streets of Rage games, like all of the mechanics that we were talking about, a lot of that stuff has been refined to like the umpteenth degree in the modern day, just because this is so fucking formative and genre defining. Such a cool game. I love it.
This was the first one I remember playing
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Sega Genesis as a kid. It was in the entertainment center that had the magnet that you like click, click, and then the glass like, whoosh, and then you get, boom, play a skate.
Yeah.
Never get past level 2 by myself. Impossible. But god damn, that music was always
So
slapping
good.
so fucking hard, bro.
Yeah.
We're going to blow through the rest of these games pretty fast because guess what? Spoilers, like I said, that was the best one. Because Final Fight 2 comes next, okay? It's for the SNES. It drops in May of 93 in Japan, August 93 in North America. So that is a couple months after Streets of Rage 2. So once again, getting beat to market and by just one of the best beat'em ups of all time.
I'm just in my brain, I'm looking at these timelines and I'm going, that's less than 2 years since Final Fight 1 was ported to the SNES, which means
Right.
in less than 18 months, they just did this whole game. Like they did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just had to be ready before that to be QA'd and then manufactured and then
I know games did have shorter, production
The
times
development
back
cycle,
then.
still
yeah,
just
yeah.
blows my
But
mind.
yeah, 18
But
months is
I will,
crazy.
I will admit also that it's because they didn't really change much. But anyhow, so you finally you get
Yeah.
3 characters and you finally get 2 players, so that's good. But it features a new roster of characters. So guess what, guys? Still not in it. But it's Hagar.
Yeah, just Hagar was back,
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride, huh?
Yeah.
pretty much.
A girl named Maki, who is, Guy's friend? It doesn't matter. And then a sword wielding ninja guy named Carlos.
Yeah.
And I wrote, my last note here is that there are no gameplay features added.
Really?
They don't.
Honestly. Yeah, truly.
They don't add any new moves that you can do.
Have you played a Street Fighter game? Like, they don't exactly innovate with every iteration. They
and
usually
that's why
takes
I think
them
they got
a while.
it done so quickly. You know, I mean, this isn't
Yes.
just an iteration. This is the next one. This wasn't. This
Sure.
This is the difference between Street Fighter 2 and 3. Not 2 and 2 Turbo, Super 2 Turbo.
Yeah, they
But
did re-release Street Fighter 2 like 6 times.
My chaos theories for why this is happening. It's like it got put together in 18 months because it's a real slap job. You know why? Because they had the hottest fucking fighting game of all time going on at this moment. We're not even talking about it.
And they're like, do we even need to bother this? Wait, these things are selling for the home consoles.
We just made Street Fighter 2. Who gives a fuck about Final Fight? You guys can go jerk off with Streets of Rage all day. We just made the best fighting game of all time. Good luck, Sega.
I didn't even think
Sega
about
got Eternal Champions, and no one really cared.
They just abandoned it. Is my thing, you know?
Yeah,
I think that makes so much sense. I didn't even think about that these games came out right around.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Are you trying to tell me that Capcom builds these amazing IPs and then dumps them on the side of the road?
I was
Can I
just
please
like,
have a Darkstalker same, sir? Please.
Yeah.
I'll wait a decade for another Mega Man. Thank you for announcing that it comes out in 2 years.
I did very much so like the puzzle game you did for the Game Boy Advance where you make the Street Fighter characters fight. Can I have
you mean
another?
Puzzle Fighter 1? I mean 2? There's only one of them, but...
So... Yeah, man. So, no, it also made me be like, man, I appreciate Street Fighter Alpha more for bringing them back to say Cody and Guy should be in Street Fighter. That would be a fun idea because it is. But yeah, man, Final Fight 2, me and Rav played it on the OG hardware.
Yep.
It looked cool.
Yeah.
It looked like this is fun, but we played for like 30 minutes and we're like, we're done, right?
It doesn't have the
done.
same
Very
sparkle.
forgiving. Yeah.
It doesn't have the same. Yeah, it doesn't strike the same chord.
I did like that it had some cameos in it. That was kind of cool. We saw Chun-Li in the background.
Guile's in a scene, and like there are a bunch of Street Fighter 2 characters as cameos in it.
Yeah.
Which again further illustrates my point. They were just like, we're busy over here changing the infrastructure of fighting games. By the way,
That's fair.
Essentially creating the genre. Yeah.
yeah. So then we move on to not the best, but the most interesting one here. Because in March of 94 in Japan, in July of 94 in North America, so a year later, after Final Fight 2 comes out, for the Genesis, we get Streets of Rage 3.
I want to know about this one because I don't know anything about it.
So
Let me fill you in.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Houston, we have a problem. For a couple reasons. One, if you look at the art of this game, I don't know if art directors changed, but it doesn't look as good as Streets of Rage 2, and that's hard to explain, so I'll just end that thought there. But secondly, before we get into the worst thing, I just want to mention everyone can run in this game.
Okay.
Everyone can run.
They realized that was a big time mechanic in beat 'em ups.
But
mobility.
it just
I'm not saying it
takes away the specialness of skate because now everyone can run, and it just I don't know.
That's true. Actually, I didn't even think. I didn't consider
soul of
that.
it. You know what I mean? The character, the roster is changed once again, and it's Alex, this crazy blue-bodied android guy.
Dr.
Who the
Gilbert
fuck is
Zahn.
this
So
weird bald
fucking
guy?
Weird. And then
With a Fu
the
Manchu.
third character I can't even remember. I think it's Skate.
Well, Blaze was in it again, and then Skate.
Okay, Blaze,
His
yeah.
name is
There's-
Sammy in Japan. I don't
There are
get that.
unlockable characters in this one, which is cool. I think there might, that's fun. But man, Buck, can you explain to me the problem that we have with the music in Streets of Rage 3?
So I remember Streets of Rage 1 and 2, and 2 especially being just absolutely amazing. And I remember 3 really letting me down. And I thought, is that just me? And Mac was over the other day, and I said, let me play you a couple of pieces. And his jaw got closer and closer to the ground as we played. So the same composer, Yuzo Koshiro, did the music for 3, but he was trying something new. He had written this program called generative music that they used at Ancient. And what it did was it would take a beats per minute. It would take a basic beat, and then every so many bars, for you music folks out there, it would dynamically change something that was in a layer on top of it. It would either change the main effect that was going on, add a completely different effect, do all these kinds of different things.
Change the pitch.
Looking back at it then, maybe it seemed like he was lazy to some people. I think he was trying to innovate. I think he just didn't strike gold when he did it because it
I'm
creates farts on a snare drum.
It sounds like
You're
Aphex
listening
Twin.
to it? Damn
Yeah,
it. Okay, I'm about to say, I'm about to play us.
Oh, no, play it. It's
I'm going to
probably sounds much better
play
here.
the music for the character select screen here.
Okay.
Fucking rough, dude.
Did this guy invent the glitch genre? Like, it sounds like Aphex Twin, but like not good.
It sounds so gemsy.
You don't have one
We
of the-
talked about this in our Genesis
Yes.
music episode. The gems thing that people who didn't know how to use the music would use gems to make music, and you listen to Streets of Rage 2, and you're like, oh, this guy knows what the fuck he's doing.
Oh, yes, he does.
And now it goes right back to just like, oh, what's happening?
You don't have one of the
with
generative
music?
stages, do you? Or one of the generative tracks?
I have one of the right here. This one is called Kamada something. Hold on, I don't know what level this is. I didn't play this game, but
Right there. See how I did it again?
I can hear it.
See that? See how I did it again?
Sounds so bad.
It's very
So what's
abrasive.
happening is every 2 bars, the software was making a decision to just do something. Like, he technically wrote like the first AI music, and it didn't go well.
It stinks. I'm sorry. It's
You know,
It's a shame.
dude, every good artist is gonna take a big swing and fucking miss every once in a while, and I think
Yeah.
that's what he did here. It's just a big miss, you know.
I found a video of him showing it off on Twitter, like a video he had of it, and it was so funny because people were like, we'd love to look at it and dive into it and check it out and see if we can improve upon it. And he's like, oh no, it's lost. The software is lost. It's like, you just showed a video demoing it on like an old PC engine or PC or
My
something.
dog ate
No,
it.
just-
my
Yeah.
dog.
my dog ate
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, man, Streets of Rage 3. Those are my. They don't add anything besides They add this. Oh, I'm sorry. They add the star-based superpower system that carries over into Streets of Rage 4. But besides that, there ain't nothing worth talking about Streets of Rage 3, in my opinion.
No.
We get the last 2 games here, we're just very briefly going to graze over because they just sort of on the tail end of this franchise. Final Fight Streetwise. Raph.
Well, you skipped
have
Final
you
Fight 3.
Seen this?
I
I'm
saw
sorry.
it exist,
wait.
but I have
I'm sorry.
not
I'm so
looked it
sorry.
up.
Final Fight 3. I'm sorry. You're right. For the SNES, 95 in Japan, 96 in North America. Not Buck, you said this game's kind of rare, right? It's kind of expensive.
Yeah, Final Fight 3 has gone up there. I think it's worth another $100 or $200 or so. Final Fight Guy is up to like $400.
I was about to say, you know why it's so expensive? It's because it's got Guy in it. I
course.
didn't play it. I looked at it.
Yeah.
Didn't look like much had changed. There's a new roster of characters, which is cool, and there's a rechargeable super, which is, guess what? Probably based off of the fact that in Street Fighter 2 Super, you have
Supers came out,
supers,
yeah.
and they're like, fuck, let's put it in Final Fight.
Oh, this UI is definitely straight out of Street Fighter 2. Like
Oh,
the-
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
of course. Okay.
Started sharing employees a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Final Fight 3, Buck?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Oh,
I remember
really?
renting it at least once, but
Oh,
again,
fuck.
it didn't. The first Final Fight is hands down the best in the series, right? And if we're talking just these ones exclusively,
Yeah.
it's like the best. Streets of Rage 2, and we're talking the original trilogy in the 90s, is hands down the best one. I mean, that's just the way that it is. But you know me, I'm a Sega CD guy. Both of these games, Final Fight 1 and Streets of Rage 1, both have Sega CD versions with better soundtracks.
Raph, do you remember listening to the Final Fight soundtrack for Sega CD like 2 years ago in one of our first episodes?
Oh my god, man.
that was
There's
the
a
one
short
where-
of us where it's like Final Fight CD is the best buddy cop movie you've
Yeah.
never seen or
That was
whatever.
right.
Oh yes,
That was
yes,
our
yes,
episode.
yes.
Streets of Rage 1 and the Sega CD version has like an upgraded, the fidelity is higher on
I
that
see,
same, it's the
okay.
same
Yeah.
soundtrack, but so it bangs. It's
That
just-
rocks.
Yeah, 3 no bueno.
Yeah, so, but Raph, look up.
I'm already looking at it. I'm
Dude,
already
it's-
looking at it. You don't even have to.
What
I've been.
is
You haven't seen my face,
Streetwise?
but I'm just like,
That's
what is
not
this?
fair.
What a
What
relic.
is this?
Okay,
Hold on,
we-
I got it. What a relic of 2006
Yes.
this bad boy is.
Wow. Yeah.
You guys remember Fighting Force?
Yes.
3D
Yes.
beat 'em ups aren't fun.
No.
They're not fun. They never really figured it out until they got to like Devil May Cry and things like that aren't really beat 'em ups. That's how you do it.
You want to know something fun?
Right.
This game's for the PS2 and Xbox. They're both published by Capcom. It's developed by Capcom for the PS2, but for the Xbox, it's developed by a company called Secret Levels, aka Sega Studio San Francisco. Sega
Magical.
made the fucking
Magical.
Final Fight
The worst
Streetwise.
Final Fight
Yeah.
game. Perfect.
It's so
Fucking
it
oh
looks
my God.
like they were like, kids like NBA 2K Streetwise. Let's do Final Fight Streetwise. Like, and it's like the font is even the same as those NBA, NFL Street games. I was like, what are you thinking?
So bad.
It's got a multiplayer and a story mode in it. I watched a little bit of each one. I was like, this looks rough, dude. I don't know. Yeah.
not worth wasting any more time.
No. And then in 2020, a good game comes out once again in Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah.
I love
Let's
this
do
game.
it.
Developed and
I love
published
it.
by people we love.
Yeah.
Dot Emu, I heard
Dotemu?
Griffin. I thought it's Dotemu. I heard Griffin McElroy say Dot Emu, and I was like, that can't be right.
No,
He's just being silly.
It's
Okay,
Dotemu, yeah.
but it's a really good homage to the
Right.
genre.
Look what they did. They didn't bend. Those guys are the kings at not bending it. Just do it again. Higher resolution sprites. Really great soundtracks. Bunch of the characters in 4 were hidden characters in 3. Rue the kangaroo, Shiva.
That's why.
Okay,
Wow,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, yes. I wanted to know why the hell there was a kangaroo with boxing
3.
gloves behind the bar.
Rue is
Okay,
a hidden
there we
character
go.
in Streets of Rage 3. I pretty much
Thank you.
all the characters that were hidden. There's 4 hidden characters in Streets of Rage 3 in Japan, 3 in America.
Yeah,
And you
Streets
can
of
play
Rage
as, like,
4
all
ends
of
up
them.
having like 16 characters in it
Something
because it has like
ridiculous. I love
you can
that.
play as Pixel Alex and like Pixel
Right.
whatever.
Yep.
This
Played-
is my
I played
first
the
Streets
crap
of
out of
Rage
it.
game, and I loved it so much that I actually own it on like 3
was
different
wonderful.
consoles. I
So
love
what
it,
you're
yeah.
saying is, podcast powers activate. Give us a new Final Fight by one of these guys,
That'd
like
be
by
cool.
Dotemu or one of these guys that have been making these great beat 'em ups, the River City Girls or Shredder's Revenge or one of those. Give me a new old Final Fight in that.
That would be great. My verdict basically is that, Streets of Rage 4 is cool. They don't do much to change it, honestly. It's very similar to Streets of Rage 2. And
ain't
the
broke.
art style is cool, but it's so different than Streets of Rage. Not in theme-wise, but it's just like more anime, more comic booky, less
yeah, sure.
weird, gritty, pixel, you know what I mean? And so, in my opinion, Streets of Rage 2 on the Genesis, on a CRT TV, is
Pretty
the
peak
best
experience.
way
The
to
definitive
experience
Yeah.
any beat 'em up because another spoiler alert, this genre hasn't changed much since 1993.
Yep.
I mean, unfortunately, I'm going to talk about a game in a couple minutes that has tried to evolve said genre. But so, in my opinion, if you are playing an antiquated genre, it's like, why not play it on the hardware that it was invented on?
Heck yeah.
It's like listening to Sgt. Pepper on a vinyl versus buying the CD remaster. Like
Yeah,
it was meant
okay.
to be listened on this. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like you should give it a shot. It sounds a certain type of way. So that's why I think Streets of Rage king. Boom.
Yeah.
In this versus. I think Streets of Rage is the king. Raph.
I
if you had
100% prefer Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels much better to play. I like the variety in the gameplay. I prefer having more options in terms
Yeah.
of like what I can do on the screen, and I just felt like Final Fight was fine. None of these games are incompetently made. They're both competently
Right.
made, but I just think Streets of Rage 2 is just such a it's just miles above it. It's I don't know. I love it.
Buck?
Good.
I have a hard time with this because I have a huge soft spot for the first Final Fight.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love it. My brain has completely blocked out the fact that the SNES version was single player instead of 2-player. But if I have to take that into account, then I would give Streets of Rage 2 the win as the best in the series out of I'm going to count the 6, the original trilogies of both.
Yeah. Streets of Rage, you are the winner of this Gamepairing. Congratulations! But Final Fight podcast powers activate. God willing, like Buck said, we get a new one of you soon. Hopefully, made by
Capcom
Dotemu.
just said new IPs, bringing back
That'll
Phoenix
be
Wright,
tight.
bringing
That
back
would be
Mega Man.
tight.
Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to do our What Else You Got and head on out of here. See you on the other side.
This is my bro Cody, a local hero. We don't fight anymore. Back in the day, he was the man. It's kind of a hard ass, but he's always been there for me.
Okay, we're here on the other side of our break, and we're here to do our What Else You Got, the segment of our show we can bring anything to the table, be it video game or otherwise. This week I am bringing a video game, and I've already teased it twice, so I finally got to play Absalom, which came out just a couple months ago this year for the PlayStation, Switch, Windows, published by Dotemu. I know I'm late to the party. It got a nominee at the Game
it's like a couple
Awards
months old.
for Multiplayer Game of the Year. Developed by Guard Crush Games and Supermonk. It is a roguelite beat 'em up. Dude.
Brads and Bradouts out there, did you ever play Shadows over Mystara or Tower of Doom, the Dungeons and Dragons Capcom made
Right.
arcade beat 'em ups?
Raph, have you played those games?
I have not. No.
They're Dungeons and Dragons. You select the classes, you have different spells and abilities and everything.
Those
I
games.
bought this too, Mac. I'm in. I bought it.
Did you buy it? Did you
Yeah,
play it
oh,
yet?
absolutely. This game is wonderful. I've done a
Oh,
run.
no,
I did
I
a
gotta
run
get
with
it.
the
Shit.
elf chick already.
I've been playing with my girlfriend, 2-player. If you have a significant other that's not the best at fighting games, beat 'em ups are perfect. All they have to
Yeah.
do is move from left to right and smash the A button. Like, you know what I mean? Just like go crazy.
And it's a
I'll carry
roguelike.
you.
You're supposed to lose.
Yeah.
At least eventually.
Exactly.
You're
We
supposed to
died
lose.
pretty early, and Tish was like, "Damn!" And I was like, "No, that's actually what's supposed to happen because now
This
we're
is
gonna
the
level up and get
mechanic.
stronger." And she's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah,
This is the mechanic,
So
yes, yeah.
it's like Shadow Mystara over Mystara in the sense that you have to pick the route that you are going on every time you go out. So
Branching paths.
So in Shadows over Mystara, it's an arcade cabinet where you'll get to a part where it's just like, do you want to take the high road or do you want to go in the valley?
Ford the river, or
And the two things will just lead you to different levels that will then end up at the same boss, for example. This game takes that to the umpteenth degree. You have these 3 giant islands, and the paths are extremely sprawling. So like you'll do a run and you have a literal map that you pull up, and like you'll get to the edge of a level and you'll have 2 exits, and I'll pull up the map and it'll be like, okay, so that one appears to take us to something that looks like a castle, but then this one takes us like to a river, and then that river leads to 3 other places, and the castle leads to 2 different places. And we'll get halfway through one of them, and then someone will be like, I have a quest for you to go in the opposite direction. So when we fucking die, we'll respawn and be like, ooh, now this time we have to go the other way, because remember that guy told us? Yeah. And then you'll get a reward that's experience or like new weapons or shit like that. It's it's really good, dude.
There's hidden areas I found. I mean,
Yup.
it's pseudo hidden if you're paying attention, but there's a ghost you talk to at one point that disappears behind a wall, only
Yes.
for you to realize that you can move, bookshelves and stuff.
There's 4 playable characters. There's a dwarf guy who uses like guns and grenades. There's an elf woman who has a big sword.
Swordsman, yeah.
There's a character that's Skate, basically. She can dash, and
Haven't
her
unlocked
her
her yet.
grab allows you to jump on people and attack them like Blanca. And then there's a 4th character that I haven't unlocked yet that's like a wizard frog. It looks fucking awesome, dude.
Everybody
shit.
always trying to recreate Frog in some
It's
way,
so
shape, form, or
fucking
fashion.
good. But yeah, man, the roguelike aspect comes in like the form of like every time you get a reward for clearing a screen or beating a boss, it'll be like, ooh, if you take this relic, it'll add fire to your Y attacks. Or if there'll be like cool ones where like your finisher will put an enemy in a bubble, and then he'll float around screen dealing damage to other enemies until the bubble pops. And
It's
it's
a
like,
lot
cool.
like Dead Cells. That's kind of the direction that they were going with it. But it's a beat 'em up,
But it's
not
a
a
beat 'em up.
Metroidvania.
Right.
Yeah, I really, really like it. Like I said, it's been my game with my girlfriend. So Absalom on the Switch or PlayStation, Windows, go check it out. It's fucking fun. Buck,
Yeah.
what else have you got for us this week?
You guys knew this was going to be a problem, right? Like I shouldn't have been allowed to get a record player.
Okay, what have you got now?
Alrighty.
I knew this was one of the ones I had to get. It's a game soundtrack, but I had to chase.
Oh,
nice.
which is that Turtles in Time, or is that
Yes,
just yeah?
but I had
wow.
to chase. I had to chase this particular special edition.
Fun. Why?
Look at the cover.
Pizza.
It's the pizza box.
Yeah.
Oh, that
from
gives you
Turtles
health
in
too,
Time. This
right?
special edition.
That's
So
awesome.
Spotify video moment, kids. If my vinyl box is a pizza, what do you think the disc looks like?
Oh,
Oh
shit.
fuck! Let me see.
Oh, and it's a pixel pizza. It's a pixel
Oh,
pizza.
nice.
That's really cool.
It's
I like that.
gorgeous.
And the other side actually has the bomb on it, same as the back. It has the
Beautiful.
bomb
Oh,
you
that
get
makes
to
you
like spin
and
around
do
and
the
attack.
yeah.
Yeah, I knew this was one of the game soundtracks I knew I'd want to get, and I knew about this special edition that came out like 8 years ago, and I had to search around to find one that didn't cost me an arm and a leg, and I got it for a pretty good price. So I'm pretty excited.
So funny, video game soundtracks. Yeah, you got to get the Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack.
It
Woo,
is
that
on
would be a
vinyl.
fucking
They have it
banger.
on vinyl because it's that good.
Yeah, oh yeah. Very nice. Raph, what else have you got for us this week, sir?
Well, as of January 2nd, all the way up until January 16th, so a week after this episode airs, there is an event going on. It's an unofficial event called Return to Lordran. So basically people are jumping into Dark Souls Remastered, and they are playing it together. So there's a whole bunch of PvP, a whole bunch of online stuff
That's
going
awesome.
on right now, which is really cool.
What?
Yeah.
This is just some sort of unofficial.
Yeah. On the subreddit, if you look up Return to Lordran 2026, people are playing from January 2nd through January 16th. They're all jumping into Dark Souls 2, and it was cool, man. It was like bloodstains everywhere. There was messages all over the place. There was ghosts running around all over the place. It was really, really fun.
Wow.
Pretty neat.
I
And
jumped
that's
into
the
it.
kind of things you will lose
Yeah.
by not preserving these games. 'Cause
Exactly.
When it comes to like an online community
Exactly.
like that, you can't relive some of those things.
You can't do that with Prepare to Die Edition, I don't think, because I don't know if the servers are still up for that. The other thing is that I have a game. I played a game this week called Kingdom of Night. Very cool little game. I think some of you guys might have it on your wish list, but this was released on December 2nd, 2025, and it's developed by the Friends of Safety, which is funny because that is actually the name of the group that's in this game. And it's published by, it says Dangan Entertainment and Game Source Entertainment, who also published Ratsatan, I believe. Yeah. This is a hack and slash top-down action RPG. And it fucking kicks ass, dude. It's
really good.
It's really good, yeah. It's set in the 80s, and it's got this sort of like 80s horror movie, sort of like cheesy 80s horror movie vibe. The premise is that you are a guy who likes a girl in high school, and there's a party tonight at the popular guy's house, and you wanted to ask her out, but you probably didn't put enough points into guts, so you chicken out at the last second. But yeah, basically this is all set to like there's the party, you're both going together, or you're both going to the party at the same time as well. But it's all set to the backdrop of there's a missing girl in the town, and then there's also this group called the Friends of Safety, which is like a local like a neighborhood watch group that is setting new rules for the town, including a curfew, which, by the way, the funniest thing is that like in the very first scene, you see the head of safety, like the head of safety dude, and he's just a guy in a black robe. I'm like, why is nobody questioning this guy in a black robe that is telling everybody to stay home at night?
Safety.
But yeah, the night of the party comes, and the girl that you like gets kidnapped, and then a literal fucking wizard comes out of nowhere and tells you that there's some fuck shit going on, and then you have to go find help.
Whoa, it's the Dungeons and Dragons
Yes.
ride.
Right, exactly.
Awesome.
Same vibes, man. All the characters are sort of like stereotypes, but it's obviously, it's an homage.
Yeah.
that's
Stranger
cool. This
Things
game
eat
looks
your heart
great.
out.
Exactly.
It's awesome.
The combat
looks
feels
great.
really good too. It feels like
Yeah.
a little bit like Hyper Light Drifter, or even like Dark Souls,
Okay,
where you
cool.
have to kind of like dodge roll things, and then it's
I was
sort of
gonna
hack and
ask that, 'cause
slashy.
sometimes hack and slash is a little.
It's good. Like if you ever played Hyper Light Drifter, it feels a lot
Sure.
like that. Boss fights are fairly tough. I had one boss fight, and it was like a werewolf. It was really fucking cool. And I won't give away any spoilers as to how the werewolf shows up, because that's actually kind of cool too. But yeah, you actually, when you initially start the game, after you go through like the whole like startup story stuff, you pick an archetype, either melee or magic, and this also decides what your special ability is. I forget what the special. I chose the melee one, and it was like this last week that I played, and this was originally going to be something I was going to bring to the table like last week, but yeah. Anyway,
it's got split screen co-op and remote play.
Yes,
that's the same thing that we used to play. Some of those others.
Is it only on? Is it on like?
I think it's only on Steam, as far as I know.
Okay.
As far as I know,
like a game that might only be on Steam right now.
Badass.
Yeah, it's a very, very indie. I easily give this game a 9 out of 10. It definitely deserves its overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam right now. Very fun little game. Check it out.
Hell
Kingdom
yeah.
of Night.
That does it for another episode of the Game Treasure Podcast. You have reached the end. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you could share the channel with someone you know, maybe that would be really tight and help us quite a bit. You can also rate us on podcast apps. I forgot. I always forget to mention. If you are just listening to this on your podcast app, though, you should go to YouTube and subscribe to us there because we sort of live there. We have our streams on the weekends there. I played Catch Rap this past weekend. That was fun. You can reach out to us via our email at gametreasurepodcast@gmail.com. You can head on over to our merch store, which is at our linktree/thegtp. You can also find our Patreon while you're there, where you can support us for just $5 a month and get access to some bonus content. You can find links for all that, linktree/TGTP. We want to thank Crunkwitch for the use of our theme song, Clash of the Droids. You can find their music on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you can find music on the internet. And, of course, last but not least, we need to thank RetroGameTreasure.com, owned and operated by the Megabuck himself. Retro Game Treasure is a subscription service that helps you grow your retro video game collection the easy way. No more hunting, no more guessing, and no more wasted time. Instead, you just tell Buck and Retro Game Treasure what kind of games you like and what consoles you collect video games for, and then every month he sends you a box of those video games to add to your collection permanently. So start collecting video games the easy way today with RetroGameTreasure.com. Until next week, my name is Max Stein, and I love the Game Treasure Podcast. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
See y'all, Magfest!